Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm thrilled that you're here. I'm Rita Hickman, a body mind expert and a shiatsu massage therapist. And I have a quickie one, but an important live stream today. So, if you're feeling stuck, if you need some help with this, we've got a wonderful support group that we meet every week. We've got a free library of live streams, and I also do one on one coaching. So, that being said, here we go. Today's topic is about can you ever feel safe after having a narcissist in your life? And the answer is yes, absolutely, you can. Um, so, feeling safe has to do, of course, with your physical surroundings. And really, there are a lot of safe places in the world. When you are anonymous, or when you've got a close community, or when you take smart measures, you can physically create environments which are safe for you. But the biggest problem is feeling safe. That's the one we're talking about today, how to feel safe. So, when you have a relationship with someone who's always manipulating your head and lying to you and having emotional outbursts and doing things just to hurt you and going off the deep end, whether it's because of it's purposeful or whether it's because of something else, some mental health disorder, it still creates a level of anxiety. Trauma comes from when we have something unexpected happen to us that we feel out of control, that we don't have control over it, and that we're helpless, and that we don't process through. So when we have an emotional reaction to something, when there's a trauma, uh, an emotional reaction to something that we felt helpless, that we felt like we didn't have any control, that it was by surprise, and that we haven't processed through yet, it means we compartmentalized it. We took all those chemicals of emotions and we ignored them and denied them and put them in some part of our body. This is so natural with the narcissist because, in order to manage or be in a relationship with a narcissist, one, you have to have a lot of self control. And so, even though you've got emotions popping up all over the place, anger and fear and frustration and hurt, when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, it's actually very dangerous, either emotionally dangerous or physically dangerous for you to express yourself, for you to take these emotions and be present with them. And then when you try to find other people to talk to so that you can process through, you can feel safe, there's a lot of judgmentalism or a lot of good advice or a lot of old beliefs that we may carry about what people will think. And so those ideas, those experiences get kind of trapped in our body. When we get enough of those and we make enough, choices, let's say about being dehydrated or running ourselves down or adrenal fatigue or poor food choices or not enough sleep or indulging in a distraction to the point where it causes a negative side effect for us. If we don't take the time to process through these emotions, then our body gets stressed out. It's like there's a load a toxic load which keeps being put on your shoulders. And so what might not have bothered you 10, 15 years ago might bother you now, possibly because you're older or your body isn't as good a shape or you haven't taken as good a care of yourself. But it's a burden, it's cumulative. And so as the relationship can go by, you can start feeling more and more anxious. You may get better at managing it, but the anxiety and the fear and the lack of safety is still there. So, how do I know that you're not going to be trapped in that space for forever? Okay, so the body is a miracle. It's absolutely amazing. And every 7 years, everything in your body is changed over. And the only thing that keeps it in the pattern that it is our habits, are the way that we live our life. So, one, I automatically know that the body has the capability to change, has the capability to let go of that fear and to create a sense of safety for ourselves. So, theoretically, that's really great. But in practice, it's cool. There's a whole process to how we heal. When you have a safe place where you can express yourself and you feel heard and validated, you're able to move some of those old traumas, like the backlog that's on somebody's desk. You're able to start working through the backlog of issues that, you just suppressed and ignored, but are now causing your knee pain or your fibromyalgia to act up or your rheumatoid arthritis or the dizziness. You start working on the backlog. being safe and expressing and processing through, and that gets it off the system. But what about those old patterns? What about the patterns of thinking? Because when you trigger automatically. There isn't any stopping it. So how do you change that? How do you change your nervous system? Well, here's another thing. Every night when you sleep, you have guys that go into your brain, and they go and they clean up all the neural connections that you don't need. That's why it's so important to get good sleep, because otherwise your brain gets all cluttered and cloudy, and has all these fragments all over the place. These guys come in and clean it up. When you start associating something, let's say a smell or a look or a word, PTSD or the fear comes because we've associated it with something negative. When you start associating it with something positive, you're able to change the neural connection. It actually unhooks from the old belief that I am never safe, and maybe hooks into a new belief. You know what? Sometimes I'm not safe, but usually I am. It's able to unhook from an old belief and rehook to a new belief. And then while you sleep, these guys come in and they take care of those neural connections that you've now detached from, that fear and that anxiety and those belief systems and those patterns. And the same thing is true for your nervous system. Your nervous system has a pattern of behaving, and it protects all those emotions that we lock down, that we close down and are lodged in our bodies. When we get work done that helps us relax around those, whether it's body work, energy work, some sort of touch therapy, experiential play therapy, things like that. When we have physical sorts of therapies done, our body is able to change its neural connections too. And the same thing happens. When we have positive new experiences that are safe, that we're present to, then our neural net, our nervous system is able to, it starts redirecting. And it starts to be able to go through those areas, your knees and your back and your shoulders and your hips and your head, that might have been locked down, protected by your nervous system. The blood vessels narrowed, and everything was sort of cut off from that area. And that's how sicknesses can come about too, because it doesn't get the circulation and nervous system signals that we need. So when we have an area in our body with an old memory, our body protects it. And when we're able to get our body to relax and start integrating it back into our system, stop protecting it so much, and get blood in there and nervous system signals and lymph in there, then our body's able to heal that too. You aren't trapped. It's so cool. All the science shows that every single organ in your body regenerates itself, even the brain. The brain makes just as many new brain cells as a teenager does. Our brain, our organs, our everything are constantly regenerating ourselves, and they have more and more ways that they know it does that. One of them is intermittent fasting. Another one of them is doing healing work. So there are tools and techniques that tell your body to regenerate itself. It's proven, it's out there. People are using it all the time. It's just not something that's widely accepted. And so, yes, you can feel safe after a narcissist. It takes some concerted intention and effort. But when you do it, you come out the other side with a system that actually works. You don't get triggered, or if you do, it's not so much. Your brain doesn't constantly go to the negative thinking. It's a purposeful shaping of who you are. And that should have happened when you were a child, purposely shaping you into the best version of yourself. But you know what? People have issues, family have issues, all sorts of things are going on. And you got shaped into a way that might not be in your best interest. Now you get to choose. You get to choose how you want to be shaped. And there's absolutely ways to do it. Simple, easy ways, but it takes regularity, it takes support, it takes courage. It takes some great tools, and it takes loving and respecting yourself. So if you need help, reach out. Lots of resources. Give me 24 to 48 hours usually to get back to people. I'm a little bit slow sometimes, but reach out. We absolutely need to get you where you're supposed to be, which is in a safe, comfortable, loving, evolved place, so that you can really enjoy your life again and be the person that you're meant to be, not the person that you were shaped into being. Okay? So have a great rest of your day. Gotta go. Talk to you later.